Welcome back. Welcome in. This is not Country Roads Confidential at earsports.com. This is a Paramount podcast. I am Mike Casazza. Today is the first day of preseason football practice at West Virginia University. Rather than review everything that we see and everything that someone says during the preamble to the regular season, what we're going to do is instead give you an abbreviated podcast. And when we talk about an abbreviation for West Virginia University, we of course mean WVU. So to put everything into a nutshell here, 3 things, something else we popularized at earsports.com about what we've witnessed. 1 will begin with a W, 1 will begin with a V, 1 will begin with a U. These are observations, these are notes, these are anecdotes from the beholder. Let's get going. Our W today stands for will. This is the position for the coaches, the observers, heck, for the opposition to watch the most on defense and maybe even the entire Mountaineer roster. West Virginia has 3 players for 1 will linebacker spot, and they've all basically never played college football before. That would be Jaido Favoris, Trey Lathan, and Ben Cutter. You might see a situation, in fact, you probably want to keep an eye on this, in which West Virginia feels so good about Lee Koba and maybe even Caden Beiser at Mike linebacker, but also former Miami linebacker Tyreek Austin Cave, that perhaps they can move Austin Cave over to Will. Who knows? Too soon for that, but that is the rather shallow pool of candidates right there. And that's not just me saying that this is something to watch. This is what Neil Brown actually said today. Quoting the head coach, I think that's the question mark. I don't think it's something we shy away from, but we need to see it. If you're going to ask me defensively what position most intrigues me by who is going to step up, it's at the will linebacker spot. We've got some candidates, but a lot of them haven't played over the next 2.5 weeks. Who's going to show that they are ready? That, to me, is what the first 2.5 weeks of fall camp is about. Our V stands for voracious. It means representing the truth. Look it up. And look, with this 3-letter format, you're going to have to be prepared for me to take some liberties and be prepared for some synonyms like voracious. But Brown was voracious when he explained today why he will indeed be calling the plays on offense this season. That will not fall to Chad Scott, who is the offensive coordinator. That will not fall to Sean Reagan, who got some opportunities to call plays in the spring. Those two will have a voice during the week and maybe even during the game. That said, I had to ask, so I did ask. Are they going to split up the play calling among the head coach and one assistant, or maybe more than one assistant, for different parts of the field or different situations in the game? Remember, they quizzically tried that with Jared Parker a few years ago. The ball would get into or near the red zone and Parker would take over. Hard to explain, hard to understand, but it actually did happen. It was complex. Brown said not as much right now. That might change, it might not. We'll see. But Neil Brown is pulling the trigger. His explanation, well, it was voracious. He's ready for it. Again, he said he did not regret stepping back last season and actually, quote, who we need to be here for us to be successful offensively was something he discovered by having to step back and watch Graham Harrell run and rise and fall with the offense. He also said the only reason that he is a head coach is because he was a, quote, really good offensive coordinator when he was at Troy, Texas Tech, and Kentucky. He is not wrong there. If he's on thin ice this season, look, he's going to stand on what he trusts the most. That is himself. Finally, the U is for undersold. Brown said he believes the outsiders are underselling the receivers. And we may have a point, but so may he. Yes, the Mountaineers lost a lot of production when Bryce Ford Wheaton and Sam James took a swing at the NFL, when Caden Prather moved on to Maryland. And yes, West Virginia is low on returning productivity. But what about the productivity of Devin Carter when he was at NC State? What about the careers or the experiences and the accumulated knowledge of college football that Jay Sean Polk, E.J. Horton, and Noah Massey possess and now contribute to West Virginia? Shouldn't that count? And if Cortez Bram and Jeremiah Aaron can make that anticipated progress in year 2 after junior college, well, maybe this offense can sell high at the end. So there you have it. W, will, V, voracious, U, undersold, an abbreviated podcast about the first day of Mountaineer football in the 2023 season. But let's be serious here. If you know me, you know brevity is not my strength. I need to do a little bit more speaking But it's housekeeping that's as good for you as it is for me. Let's talk about the special promo going on right now at earsports.com. 75% off an annual membership. Did some math for you here. Comes out to about 7 cents per day, a little bit more. However, there are days, many days in fact, where Chris and I will produce more than 7 pieces of content, so less than a penny a click. Pretty good. About 52 cents a week, $224 a month, less than $27 for the year. No promo code required. Just go to earsports.com right now, find the very noticeable link for 75% up. Sign up, you'll get the deal. Access to what I think is the number one source for insider information on the Mountaineers, recruiting, who's playing, why they're not, what do coaches think, what do players say. Best in the business for less than a dime a day. Up to you. Act now before it's too late.